Alrighty. Welcome back to Do You Love Your Mom and Her Two Multi-Hit Attacks Anime Review Episode number 7. The final video for this one. Yeah, I'm discussing an OVA that... this was not that good. Yes, this one feels like... Oh my gosh. It feels like a partial retread of an OVA from Is It Wrong to Girls in Dungeon? Yes, it seems like the same exact OVA, like very similar story. Yeah, one character has amnesia, and then all the characters have amnesia. Yes. Oh, and here's something really going to be much of an irritation about this OVA. This OVA was released March 25th last year. Roughly not even a week after stuff got shut down here in this country. Yes, they released this OVA like when stuff was getting like barely a week into the pandemic. That's when this OVA was released. Roughly about like almost exactly 6 months after the main season ended. Which I love the finale for this one. This OVA is just not that good. Well, there are some things to like about it. Number one, Steel Girls in swimsuits. All 5 of them. Because the red season this one. Of course she is. Excuse me, though. Her swimsuit is more like a one piece. It's more like a dress over a swimsuit. Yes, Memeko's is like a traditional bikini. It's a white bikini, mind you. In the case of the other girls, Wise, hers is simply, well, how should I put this? Wise's outfit is simply like a strapless bikini top, red with short shorts, and Porta is almost like another one of these other swimsuits I've seen, basically with like this bell top with normal bikini bottom. That's what her outfit is, and of course, well, Mystico, Medea is wearing like one of these other bikinis I've seen, except it looks like it has another strap on it, like on the bottom and top. Yeah, this basically is a fine bikini. And it's an obvious joke that this is a beach episode. Obviously, I love beach episodes. Okay, now the premise of this one is simply like, oh, how the characters go to the beach, have some fun, have a water splitting contest. Now, the way this place looks, it seems like though that they're back in the real world. Because there is no monsters. The only thing in this OVA that connects it to the main series is the fact that Memeko is still using her sword at the very end. Aside from that, nothing. It's just a beach episode at a Monday resort with nobody there. I'm not kidding about there's nobody in this freaking resort. Yeah, so apparently Porta is basically not only being a guest at this resort, she's also apparently working there, which I thought was kind of dumb. So, now, as for the watermelon splitting contest, I've seen this in a few anime I've watched. Not a lot of them per se when it comes to beach episodes, but some of them. Like, for example, this happened in the series Uzuki-chan Wants to Hang Out. And it actually happened in a canon episode. So, basically with this one, it's like, excuse me. It's like, okay, we have this watermelon splitting contest. By the way, we also have some Bleach. I love the Bleach one. I thought it was awesome. This one, it's like, oh yeah, we make some sand castles, but the one thing I didn't like for this episode, okay, for the watermelon contest, basically we have a stick that transforms into this legendary Melon Slayer sword, and Mystico is the one basically tasked to split the watermelon, and he have his mom doing, hey, clap my hands. I agree, that's actually kind of annoying. Why don't you just say like, walk forward, just talk, don't clap. Yeah, then he ends up accidentally touching his own mother's breast. I thought that was quite stupid. And then he just tossed the sword out to the sea, and everyone started eating watermelon, and then he gets hit in the head with a damn sword, gets knocked out, and he gets complete amnesia. And then he starts acting really stupid. How stupid? Well, he forgets Memeko is actually his mom, so he tries to, in a way, fall in love with her like a guy follows a woman. At one point, covering up the fact she was completely naked. Because here's the thing. If this was normal, he'd basically be embarrassed to see this. Apparently, he has no problem with this at all, so he at least decently cover her up. And this actually is a play previously when he got his own swimsuit basically shredded by Wise, just because of a comment he made. There was like one tiny bit left, and lucky enough he said he has spare swimsuit. He's like, oh yeah, uses to cover up with, and that's not very good, especially since over his groin. And it's a good thing the anime centered his groin. Now, I was not a fan of the Amnesiac Mystico. I thought it was a really dumb plot. Like, could you think of anything else besides a freaking amnesia plot? Seriously, it was one thing I didn't like about this episode, this OVA. And then, of course, they have it where he confesses his love to his mom. That he's in love with her. And then the Kraken shows up, and then she just uses her sword to slice it into pieces to eat it. And then, for some reason, it starts, one part of the thing starts boiling, and the thing hits Memiko and Cerise in the face, and the other girls in the face, and they all get amnesia. Just by getting smacked in the face with a Kraken leg. And they all get amnesia. And that's how the thing ends. I'm like, what the heck is this? That's a dumb ending. Like, can't you just end it peacefully with just eating? Do we have to go through, let's have the characters get amnesia? I'm like, this felt like a very similar ending to the second OVA for Izuran Chihiro's Dungeon. So, not only you rip off the dungeon design for these last few episodes, but you also apparently ripped off an OVA too. Well, one plot from an OVA, mind you, yes. But this was the last thing the series released. Now, okay, before I move on to if in fact this series could use like a season, it definitely can be. Now, my final thoughts on this particular series. It's a good series. My only slight problem with it is, and this is kind of a major issue, no dub. And you're thinking, really? Aniplex America licensed this series here, and they couldn't bother to have any of their dub actors dub this series? I mean, some of the dub actors work for Funimation too. Or you could, I don't know, have Crunchyroll. They can have their dub actors dub it. I mean, yeah, this is released on Funimation. I watched all 12 episodes plus this OVA on Funimation. And you couldn't bother to find any dub actors? I mean, yeah, it's been 2 freaking years since the series aired, and yet you can't bother to find a dub actor? Like, if this was Funimation, here's what I would choose as your actors. Well, in the case of... who would I choose? Well, in the case of Mystico, given the fact he's very similar to Katsuma from Konosuba, hire his voice actor. Khalif Crunchyroll works for Funimation, so have him voice him. But what about Memiko? Who would be a good Memiko? And this is just I'm spitballing here. Let's see. Who would I think going for Memiko? Barry Knickerbocker might be a good choice. Ooh, you also be a good choice because how very similar she is. Christina V. That would be interesting. Christina V voicing this character is so similar with Darkness. But what about Wise, Porta, and Muchi? In the case of Wise, I would have Kira Buckland voice her because I think she'd be perfect for this character. In the case of Porta, let's see. I think Brian Knickerbocker might be a good choice for this character. That or probably... yeah, I think it might be this one. In the case of... this might have a lot of actors work for Crunchyroll. I'm sure they can work for Funimation, no problem. But in the case of Muchi, the person I would choose to voice her, and that's just my opinion anyways. Let's see. Who would be a good choice for her? Excuse me. You know, aside from Christina V, aside from her voicing Memiko, I could also see Stephanie Young voicing her. Stephanie Young is basically notorious, basically in voice acting for voicing the hottest woman in anime, so why not voice Memiko? Or she could voice Muchi. That would be quite interesting. I mean, her mom could easily also be voiced by Stephanie Young. That, or she can voice the girl and have her mom voiced by, or I can swap or whatever. Why is his mom the Empress of Night? I'd say Colin Clickenbeard for her. Yeah, it might be interesting to have Colin Clickenbeard argue with Kira Buckland. That would be so hilarious. Yes, as for Sarisa, I could see Colin Clickenbeard doing her. Yes. By the case of Empress of Night, you also be good for Wise, aside from Kira Buckland? Lucy Christian. She might be perfect for her. That, or she could be one of the other voice actors. Lucy Christian would be perfect for this series. What about Sabbath? Sabbath, I could see him voicing one of the one-off characters, possibly. Same thing with Typercore. One-off character with him. But who knows? Excuse me. I'd say in the case of the main series, JC Staff did, an absolutely fantastic job with this series. And as of right now, like, how many series have I watched that they have, worked on? Well, not many, per se. You have Arya the Scarlet Ammo. That's obviously one right there that they worked on. There's also Witchcraft Works, which is another series that should be dubbed. Yes, seriously, it should be freaking dubbed. Is it Ron-Chico's Dungeon? That was I referenced this one a few times. Let's see. Sword of Roya. One Punch Man. This series. Eden Zero, which that was really good. And that's it. Oh, yeah, also, How Real is Hero About the Kingdom. Yes. Now, also, is there enough material for Season 2 for the series? The answer is yes. Yes, there is. There is exactly 8 more books left to be adapted. Anybody thinking, wait, that's not enough for Season 2? This season only adapted 3 frickin' books. So, of course, they have plenty of material. It was kind of the same argument with Asakusa Rogue Hero, where someone basically aligns, oh yeah, there's not enough material for Season 2. Yeah, there is. Look how many books were released, and you can tell there's plenty for another couple seasons. In the case one, very similar case. You have 8 books. You have roughly about 2 or 3 seasons, basically, out of this. Yes, seriously. But would they adapt it? I don't know. It all depends upon JC Staff. Because currently, they are working on How Real is Hero About the Kingdom. That's one series they're working on. Milwaukee Drum. I have not watched this one. There's one coming next year called Requiem of a Rose King. The Strongest Sage and the Weakest Crest. The Demon Girl Next Door to Chrome. The Executioner and a Way of Life. And some series I cannot. Let's see if I can find the translation for this one. This is an adaptation of a novel. I don't know what the heck this is. The story of a girl's unable to become a mage. That apparently is the translation of this, possibly. So we have a handful of series, but they could probably do at the conclusion of one of these seasons. It's possible, but it all depends upon the studio itself. Oh yeah, also Combined Space Dispatched. Yep, that was another one they worked on. They did not work on Konosuba. That was a completely different studio. I think they worked on the Konosuba movie. Yeah, they worked on the Konosuba movie, which that was really good. I love that freaking movie. Yep. But not much to say about this series. It's good. Do you have to watch the OVA? No. Not really. It's easy, skippable. I only watch just to complete the series. Okay, so that's it for particular review. And that's going to be it for videos today. Yeah, I don't have more time for videos today. So stay tuned for tomorrow for my review for Well, I've got my comic horrors to do, and of course, Super Sentai coming tomorrow. Okay. See you next video. Bye.